It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect With Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Thursday morning. Today we're talking insurance. Hey, do you have your home, your mobile home, your car, maybe something else insured? How about your boat? Anyway, we're talking about all the do's and don'ts about the insurance business today. We have an expert in the house, 436 MeTV, option 11. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the program. Here we are talking insurance. It is Ask an Expert Day, and just keep in mind the second half of the program for about the last 15-20 minutes or so, we will be talking with Tim Phillips. He is from the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control. Remember, some of you, not all of you, may have received something in the mail. It's a ballot that you're supposed to fill out. And Tim is going to be here to talk about that because there is a deadline, and so they want to keep that Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control in business. They want your vote, they want your money, and they need to keep going, so he is here to make his pitch later in the program today. In the meantime, as usual, you're watching us live at this time on Comcast, channel 187. You know, people often ask me, what station is your program on? Is it internet? No. It's on Comcast, as you see up there, 187, 43.6 and 13.1 if you have an antenna, a digital antenna. It's over-the-air broadcast. And then later in the day, if you want to catch it on the internet, you can, but you can catch the replay too on 13.6 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock at night on 4.6 Biz TV, and then later on you can catch it on YouTube if you wish, 24/7. Hey, how about the Twitter account? It is at John Mallos. MeTV. All right, so what's the deal with insurance? How do you make sure that you cover all of your assets, maybe with an umbrella policy, if you own a boat, if you own a home, if you own a rental property? Hey, how about your car? You've got to be covered properly in terms of liability. Now, there is one company that has a very catchy tune. You may have seen it, you may have heard it, the commercials are quite funny, and the jingle at the end catches everyone's attention. In fact, it has for a number of years. Here's take a look.
Well, the news took us both by surprise. Steve, the hardest. Steve! Nothing. He was in total shock. Bella would eat his socks every now and then, but this time, she ate the whole thing. Oh. If that weren't bad enough, the bill was, well, let's just say it was I tried everything. How are we supposed to know that 1 out of 3 dogs will require unexpected vet attention? That 80% of pets will experience a medical emergency in their lifetime? We were ill-informed. But we are smarter pet parents now. Once we found out that farmers offered pet insurance through Pets Best, well, that's how I got my Steve back. It's a miracle! It's a miracle! They offer comprehensive insurance for accidents and serious illnesses from as little as $19 a month. What can I say? We're a family again.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Live in our studio right now is Alicia Diaz. She is an agent from Farmers Insurance. She is here to answer your questions, including that about pet insurance. Can you believe that? They offer pet insurance if you have a cat, if you have a dog, whatever. Incredible. 436-ME-TV, option 11. That jingle will probably stay in your head for the better part of this day, at least for the better part of the program. We are here. You are there. We're back with your phone calls in our Ask an Expert program here in a moment.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
And you know, somewhere there is some lonely person in this world, in this country, somewhere, sitting in a very dark room, a little on the psychotic side. He's sitting there in the dark, alone, thinking of what the next commercial will be for farmers. Is that right?
You never know. They're pretty creative, you have to admit.
I know. But I could just see somebody sitting in a dark room, no lights on, at night, at like 3 in the morning. What are we going to do next? They are clever.
I got it.
I've got it. It's 5 in the morning. I got it. They're clever, aren't they?
They
love
are,
that.
but they do raise a really good point.
Yeah, which is?
Which is when you have a personal agent, and especially that's the focus with Farmers Insurance, is we make sure that you understand the coverage that you have. We educate you so that you know not only do you have the right coverage, but you're fully covered so that you don't have holes in your coverage and leave yourself open to risk.
That's a good motto to have.
It
it's
really
a good mission
is.
statement, right?
It's what it's all about with us.
But it reminds me of Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, no.
It does a little bit because, I mean, especially that first commercial that we ran in the monologue. I mean, she throws a football at his head. Okay, that is kind of Dumb and Dumber, right?
Right.
But it catches your attention. And I think
It does.
That. So in the first commercial that we saw, Alicia, so I'm sure that a lot of you out there have pets, whether it's a dog, whether it's a cat. So I'm kind of shocked to find out pet insurance?
Basically what's happened is Farmers Insurance has teamed up with a company called Pets Best. And they are one of the premier pet insurance providers in the country. And we've teamed up with them. And if you are insured by Farmers, you get a nice discount working with Pets Best.
And so what do they cover? Is it like regular medical coverage for
It really is. Yeah, it's similar.
Really?
It's similar to what we would consider for our health insurance. So it gives, there's a number of different plans that are available, dealing with just basic things as annual physicals for your pet, programs for their vaccinations. If you do have something major happen that's going to require surgery, it gives coverage for those things. So there's lots of different programs just for whatever your pet may need at whatever age and stage they may be in their life.
Wow! And so this is, and what does it cost on average per month? Now, you don't have to tell us to a T. But
oh no, I don't know. Basic plans start at about $1 a month. Some of them are a little bit less than that.
Month?
I mean, $1 a day. Sorry.
$1 a day.
Yeah, $1 a
Okay.
day. So you're looking, you know, somewhere between $20 and $30 a month.
That's not bad.
It's really not. And
your
when you
dog.
look at the fact that when dogs or any kind of pet are on a regular treatment program to make sure that they're staying fit and well, you're extending their life and their happiness as being part of your family.
Yeah, because as you know, to take a dog or a cat in for surgery could cost thousands of dollars in some cases.
It does.
You know, so you're well covered then if you have this plan.
It definitely just helps to defray the costs that you're going to incur, especially if some kind of an emergency happens.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't want to wait until the end of the program. We'll say it at the beginning of the program. So if they want to get in touch with you and talk about this pet insurance, which I would imagine would catch a lot of people's attention, what phone number can they dial?
My office, it's a 559 area code, so 559-424-3658.
Okay. Usually I wait until the end of the program and then we run out of time and we're quickly saying it, so we have plenty of time now to. And your office is located where, Alicia?
I am on the southwest corner of Willow and Herndon, but I travel throughout Kings County, Fresno County, even Madera County. So have a laptop and we'll travel.
What are most people looking for, and what are most people concerned about their coverage or lack thereof?
There's kind of two schools of thought. There's those people that are just looking for the cheapest rate possible, the base amount of coverage, and they're going to find that. You get what you pay for. But in the long run, they're going to run into some problems because there's companies out there that will, boast we have insurance for $15 a month. The likelihood that they have uninsured motorist coverage is pretty much not going to happen for $15 a month. You're going to have a really base package that is the only advantage to it is it's making you legal. So that the state doesn't come after you and say, you don't have insurance and now you're in trouble and we're fining you. Then the other school of thought are those people that are really looking to protect their assets and protect their income, which is what insurance is all about. And they're going to look for the best package. So of course they want a great rate, but they also want to make sure that they've got the right coverage. And they're going to look for a good agent that's going to take care of them and monitor it and make sure that they're always getting that best rate and coverage.
All right. So you do work for Farmers.
I do.
And why? Okay. Give me a selling job. Why am I going to go with Farmers instead of that little gecko, or perhaps Allstate or some other insurance company that might offer me similar coverage? Why am I going with Farmers? Give me the sales pitch.
Okay, so first of all, let's back up just a little bit. There's kind of two types of agencies. There's your personal agency, and then there's your big conglomerates that when you call, you're calling an 800 number, like Geico, Progressive, Esurance.
Okay.
So you're going to have your personal agencies like Allstate, Farmers, State Farm, Liberty Mutual. With these, there's a much more stronger possibility that you're going to have a personal agent. It just kind of depends on how they're set up. With Geico, Progressive, Esurance, you're calling an 800 number, you're talking to a different person every single time. There's really no personal relationship there, okay? So first of all, Farmers, like Allstate, State Farm, and some of these others, you're going to have a personal relationship with an agent.
But why should I go with Farmers instead of, say, Allstate?
Farmers Insurance focuses on what we call our farmers-friendly reviews. This means we're going to be in contact with you several times a year at a minimum. And our whole focus is to make sure that we are staying up with your life. So any life events that happen, you may have a child, change of job, change of location, change of vehicles. There's so many different factors, change of who's living in your household. These all affect the insurance coverage that you should have. So Farmers makes a point of doing that. And then the younger agents like me who are into technology, we're watching Facebook pages, we're watching Twitter, we're following your lives because a lot of times insurance isn't the most important things on people's minds. So you may have a life event happen. The last thing you're thinking about is how it's going to affect your insurance. Well, that's my job. So with Farmers Insurance, you're not only getting a personal agent of having that benefit of someone who's knowledgeable and who whenever you call, you know who you're going to talk to, but you have someone that's watching out for you and making sure that your coverage stays consistent with your life.
Okay, caller, here's your chance to ask a question to Alicia Diaz. She is an agent with Farmers. Go ahead. What's your question?
Hi, I do have a question. I do have pets, and I do have Farmers Insurance, and I just wanted to say I love your show, and that you have a lot of interesting topics on, and Farmers is a great insurance company, and she's right. You have a personal agent that you can call and connect with. He calls you back. It's great. It's way worth the extra money to know that you're safe.
Thank you.
And
what's your
I'm
question?
going to look into the pet insurance now that I know you have it. And thank you for informing me of this.
You have a question?
No, I just wanted to mention that Farmers is great, and that I didn't know about the pet insurance, and thanks for hipping me to that. And I'm going to check into it for my dog and my cat.
Great.
Okay. Thank you for the call. All right. We are with Alicia Diaz from Farmers Insurance. You're welcome to call in. It's Ask an Expert Day here on Connect with Me. 436-ME-TV, option 11. A lot of ground to cover here in the next 30 minutes or so. Back in a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. April Andrews went missing when she was 15 years old. She was last seen in Pea Ridge, Arkansas in November of 2006. This is what we believe she looks like today at 23. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring April Andrews home.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that taking pictures of your belongings helps when you have a claim?
Nice.
Or that Farmers offers a policy that'll replace your car with a new one if it's totaled within the first 2 model years. And that parking near a street lamp deters thieves. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Glad you're along on a Thursday morning, 436 MeTV Option 11. We're talking about insurance and insurance coverage. And Alicia Diaz is here from Farmers. And your phone number one more time, or maybe several times.
559-424-3658.
Okay, ask any question you want. Call in. It's a free line. It doesn't cost you a dime to call in. We're not charging you to call in. So it's a free call. It's a free question. It is free of charge, my friend. Free advice here. Okay, let's put number 1 up on the screen. Are you covered? How do you know you have enough coverage for your home? And there it is. Talk about this, Alicia.
Coverage for your home comes in several different forms, but there's 2 main pieces. There's covering the building itself, the structure, and then there's having liability coverage. Liability coverage protects you if you or someone in your home were to accidentally injure someone else or damage somebody else's property. So the coverage for the structure is pretty easy to figure out. It's a numbers game. And
does it cover the full value of the house?
It will cover the full value of the house and then some. Now, it doesn't cover the land because land can't be stolen, land can't be burned, but it's not only going to cover to rebuild the home, it's going to cover removing the original structure that was there that's been damaged. So if it has to be demolished and removed, that's all part of the coverage.
What about the land, though? It can be contaminated.
It can be contaminated, but there's different coverages for that. So, and that's something that's different from your standard homeowner's coverage. But the liability coverage is the other factor, and that's the part that's the more challenging part to determine how much you need, because it is strictly based on your assets that you have to protect and your income. Because if you are someone who doesn't, maybe the home is a very small, modest home, worth, say, maybe $100,000, and you have a minimum wage job, say, for example, you're not going to need the same level of liability coverage as someone that has a home that's, say, $300,000 and a 6-figure income. So you have to look at each individual household separately to determine what the right level of liability coverage is for that home.
The difference between market value and reconstruction costs.
Very big, very huge factor here. A lot of people say, well, my house is only worth $300,000, so I only need $300,000 worth of coverage. But again, the value of a home includes the land. We don't insure land. So you have to back out the value of the land.
Unless it's contaminated.
Unless it's contaminated. Okay. But then again, too, like we were saying, if you have a home, God forbid, that goes up in smoke.
Oh, God,
you have a structure there, but it happens. It does happen, and you need to be prepared for it. You have to have enough coverage to demolish the remaining structure, remove all the debris, get new permits, architectural plans, all the licensing and taxes that goes along. That's $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 before you've even started to rebuild the new structure. So that's included in your reconstruction costs. It has nothing to do with market value. So typically your insurance is going to exceed the market value because you have these other factors that are involved.
All right, let's put number 2 up. What coverages should be included in most policies? The dwelling, the other structures, personal property, loss of use, personal liability, guest medical. What is that?
Guest medical is if you have a guest over. Someone who does not reside in the home, and they are injured, and it doesn't matter whose fault, you can submit a claim to your insurance to cover a certain amount of their medical bills. As an example, I had a insured and had 2 of their nieces over, and one niece knocked the tooth out of another niece. They were playing baseball.
Great.
We covered getting that tooth fixed and taken care of.
Or if you stub your toe.
Probably not one that you would turn in, but you never know. It could be a big toe. But these are the coverages that you're seeing listed on TV right now are the basic coverages that every policy should have. It's not limited to this. There's others that you need to consider, but these are the basic ones that every policy needs to have for homeowners.
All right, let's go to number 3, replacement cost versus actual cash value, meaning what?
When you're looking at the, say for homeowners insurance, or your personal property, there's a huge difference in cost of a policy if you're insuring for replacement cost, which means someone breaks into your house and steals your $2,000 TV.
Okay.
Replacement cost, you're going to get $2,000, less your deductible, of course, to replace that TV with a similar or nicer value TV, brand new. Actual cash value is we're going to give you however much that TV is worth. So you may have paid $2,000 for it, but if it's a 4-year-old TV, it's not worth $2,000 anymore. It may be only worth $400. So you're only going to get $400. So you want to make sure that you understand your coverage as to whether or not you have a policy that's covering your items at replacement cost value or actual cash value, because you don't want to find that out when you have a claim.
All right, on your items, should you take pictures of everything in your house? Should you itemize everything in your house so you have a list?
Don't itemize.
No?
That would take you years to go through and itemize everything you have. We recommend that you get a video camera, or you can even use your cell phone or a digital camera, walk around into every room, open every drawer, open every door, and take pictures. Stand in the middle of the room and kind of do a 360 all the way around the room, and then compile all those pictures together, put them on a disc, put them on a flash drive, whatever you need, and put them somewhere off the premises. Put them in a safe deposit box, give them to a friend, put them online somewhere, put them on a cloud. Because then if you have a loss, that's the easiest way to prove what it is that you have when you have to provide that information to an insurance adjuster.
All right, now a lot of people don't think this is necessary, but I don't care what neighborhood you live in, you are susceptible to a break-in, whether you live in Southwest Fresno, or you live in Northwest Fresno, or you live in Clovis where you think it's really safe, okay? You are and can be the subject of a break-in, especially during the day. So let's put up number 4. Here is the big question. How about getting the big burglar alarm? Is that going to be worth it? Because, I mean, let's face it, just because you have a burglar alarm doesn't mean someone will not break into your house. All it means is some alarm's going to go off. They're going to call the cops if you don't respond. Police may or may not show up, and if they do, it'll be within the hour. And by that time,
what's done is done.
Your stuff is gone, baby.
The burglar alarm is not worth a discount, not in any way, shape, or form. It's never, you're always going to pay more for the alarm than the discount that you're going to get. But what it does do for you is it inhibits burglars from the amount of stuff that they're going to take from your home. If they know that there's an alarm that's going to go off, they've got a certain amount of time to get in and get out. It's going to save the amount of stuff that's been stolen out of your home. And sometimes it may deter a burglar from choosing your place in comparison to another one.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, we're talking with Alicia Diaz here from Farmers Insurance, and you are welcome to call in. There is the number on your screen, 436-ME-TV, option 11, and here for a bit more, and free questions, free advice, and you are welcome to call in. Got an open line. Back in a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that posting your travel plans online may attract burglars?
Off to Hawaii.
What if you didn't know that as the price of gold rises, so should the coverage on your jewelry? What if you didn't know that kitty litter can help you out of a slippery situation? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
That's what I told you before, Dumb and Dumber. It is pretty funny, though, but it's catchy. And
they're great.
I know.
But it is still, again, it makes a point. We want to make sure that our insured are educated so that you understand what you have and why you have it.
But it's true. I mean, look, if you're going on vacation, don't post it online, for God's sake. Why would you? And so many people do.
Everybody does it.
Why?
Everybody does it.
That's a red flag.
You know, and I will, but I always wait until I'm back before I post the pictures of a trip.
Right.
I'm back in my own home now. Now I know it's safe to do so. But I'm always telling my people, too, take that post down, take that post down. Don't put that out there.
I'm back in my home, and I'm heavily armed with a tank, so don't try and come and break in. But I went on vacation last week, and I didn't tell anybody. But anyway, that's the way to do it, really.
True.
Do it after.
But there are people that are specifically watching the internet just looking for those opportunities.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say something is on the tip of my brain. I won't say it. Number 5, let's put that up. I don't want to get in trouble. Know your limits on personal property, jewelry, computers, guns, etc.
With a homeowner's insurance policy, you're covered for all of your personal property for water damage, for fire, but there are limits for your coverage related to theft. So you need to make sure that you know the limits that you have on your policy, and every company is different. There's going to be a limit for your jewelry, for how much they'll cover in total, how much they'll cover per item, fine arts, collectibles, antiques, money, guns, all of that. You need to understand what your limits are and take a look at it. But I will make one recommendation. I'm always a firm believer in getting a fireproof safe, because it is less expensive than adding those endorsements to your insurance policy. It's going to give you the opportunity to protect a whole bunch of different things altogether instead of having jewelry and guns and all these things separately listed on a policy, because it's expensive to insure them.
If you don't have that safe screwed or nailed, screwed to the ground, the floor, your floor, is it worth having? Can't they just pick up the safe and take it away, unless it's like a giant gun safe?
Right. If it's a gun safe, I don't think you have to worry about them getting out of the house with it.
Yeah.
But if it's a small safe that they could get up and run out with, then yes, you need to either find some way to bolt it to the structure so that they can't take it, or then you need to look at considering adding those kind of endorsements to your policy to make sure that your stuff is protected.
All right. Number 6. What in the heck is a PMI? Let's put that on the screen. There it is. And you got the floor, Alicia.
PMI is for mortgage insurance. Now, this isn't necessarily something that Farmers Insurance, Allstate, State Farm, that we do, but it's important for people to understand what it is, because it can impact your coverage on your house. Mortgage insurance is a coverage that is required for mortgage companies to have on your mortgage if you have, usually it's less than 20% equity in your house. And it's covering you if something happens to you that you're unable to make your mortgage payments, it makes the payments for you until you're back on your feet.
So if you have a medical emergency, you're out for 6 weeks to 2 months, your mortgage gets paid, and then what happens after that? You pay it back?
No, because you're paying for the mortgage insurance all along the way as part of your mortgage payment.
So you don't have to pay that back then?
You don't, but it's just an extra protection that's there. But you want to make sure that you have that, because if you don't have that, there's a possibility that your house goes into foreclosure because you're not making the payments, and then it just has a big impact. And that can, in the long run, affect your insurance rates too.
And usually, but foreclosure usually doesn't happen for several months down the road.
No, and your mortgage insurance isn't going to kick in right away anyway. We're talking about someone that's out for an extended period of time due to some kind of a disability that they have no income.
And what does something like that cost usually a month?
I don't even know, because that's really a question for the mortgage company. It's just one of those things. It's just factored in. It's probably $40-50 a month to add in.
All right.
But it's obviously something that you're going to be required if you own a home and don't have that kind of equity in your home already.
Okay, number 7. When do you need an umbrella policy? But the bigger question is, what is an umbrella policy and what does it do?
An umbrella policy is providing that additional liability coverage that you need. And remember, we talked about liability coverage should be based on the amount of assets and income that you have to protect. A standard homeowner's policy is going to come with $300,000 of liability coverage. But if you have a home that's worth at least $300,000, you also have to look at protecting your income. If you have multiple homes, people that have a home and then maybe they have another structure or home that they're renting out to somebody, now you've got 2 dwellings that you're trying to protect. That's a lot of assets. And I'm sure that you've got the income that's going to support that. So $300,000 of liability insurance isn't going to be enough for you. So this is where a liability policy called an umbrella policy kicks in. It actually covers over each of your homes and your auto insurance too. So it's an umbrella over all of your other policies. You can include, if you have a boat, you can include the boat in it, motorcycles, any of that. So any insurance policies that you have, you can add an umbrella to protect them. A standard umbrella policy is $1 million. And it sounds like a lot, but they usually only cost maybe $20 a month to add $1 million of coverage. So now instead
it's liability coverage.
It's liability coverage. So what that's doing for you is, if you or someone in your home, either due to a car accident or some other kind of incident, damage somebody else's property and they sue you, or injure someone and they sue you, you're going to need that liability coverage. And if you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of income, you don't have a lot of assets, the likelihood that you're going to get sued is a lot smaller than if you're someone that has several homes, cars, a good income. So you need to make sure that you've got that coverage, because the state of California, we sue if the coffee's too hot.
Yeah, yeah, we do. And we have. Caller? Oh, okay. 436-ME-TV, option 11. We all know what can happen and what has happened, not only in the San Francisco Bay Area, but also in Los Angeles and throughout California along the coast. I want to put up number 8. We're going to break? Okay, I want to put up number 8 after the break. We're going to talk about a certain kind of insurance that, should you have it? I mean, we don't live on the coast. We're in the middle of the state, right in the middle. Are we affected if an earthquake hits? 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in just a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Back here on the program, I'm going to ask the caller to hang on for a moment because I got a couple of things I got to get to, and that is, first of all, the disclaimer, Ask an Expert Day is today. It's a Thursday, and so we asked Alicia from Farmers to come in. She came in of her own free will. We didn't pay her. She's not paying us. She is here to offer some free advice to you, the viewer at home, on home and life insurance. Do you guys have life insurance?
We do.
You have life insurance. Okay, so if you want to insure your car, your home, your boat, whatever else, you can call in and ask a question at 436-ME-TV, option 11. That's exactly what one of our viewers is doing. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Isn't there other ways of protecting your assets besides insurance? How you set up your with the corporations or different things besides just insurance? Also, why limit yourself to, let's say, Farmers or Geico or somebody else? Why not go to a broker where they can actually shop around to other insurance companies and see who has the best rates?
That's actually a really good question.
That's basically it.
Thank you. Good call.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Let's make sure that everybody understands what the difference is between, say, Farmers Insurance and a broker. A broker is going to be what's called an independent agent, and they can shop in several different markets. So they can go to Allied or Hartford or Hanover or some of these other Travelers Insurance. With an agent like Farmers Insurance or State Farm, you can't even you don't have access to our rates unless you're a Farmers agent. So brokers don't actually get to shop all of the markets. Whereas if you are a Farmers agent, we make sure that our rates are extremely competitive in the state, and we're offering service that nobody can even compare with. So you know that you're going to get solid service and a very competitive rate. If for some reason, however, Farmers Insurance declines covering your particular insurance needs, I then have the ability to go shop anywhere I want. So then I have brokers that I work with. So I actually have access to more coverages and more carriers than an independent agent does, because independent agents can't access our coverage.
All right, number 8, is earthquake coverage necessary here in the Central Valley? And you can throw in flood coverage as well.
Flood coverage is necessary in certain areas. We do have particular areas that the city and county have determined to be what we call flood zones. Flood insurance is required by your mortgage companies in those areas.
All right.
Now, if you don't have a mortgage, then it's up to you, but it's strongly recommended.
You'd have to look it up.
I'd have to look at a map. They're kind of all over the place, especially somewhere where you're close to any of the larger rivers or dam areas. You're going to be wanting flood coverage. But there's also an optional, what we call a preferred flood coverage too, that you don't have to have it, but it's optional if you feel a need that you may want to carry it. Earthquake insurance, on the other hand, that is strictly a personal preference. I can't recommend it. I can't tell you you don't need it, because you just never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't know what's going to happen with an earthquake.
Right.
You never know. All right, number 9. How about high-risk homes up in the high country, the mountains, with the high brush? And as we know, the drought the last 4 years, these places are dry as a bone. You need extra coverage there?
It's not so much that you need extra coverage there, but there are very few carriers out there who are even touching homes in these areas, like Oakhurst, Norfolk,
They won't cover them?
No. A lot of the
Why?
carriers have backed out because of the risk of fire has become so great.
Wow.
Farmers, fortunately, is not one of those carriers that have got out of the market, and we still do it. But there are limits that we have too. There are what's called a fire line, and that determines the risk of fire to your particular dwelling. We cover up to certain limits, but then we work with some other carriers that cover the higher limits too, so that we make sure that we can get you covered no matter what your fire line score is.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, what about roofing? Here in the Central Valley, you have, some of the older homes, they may have composition roof, or a shake roof is very popular here in the Central Valley. The newer homes, they all have tile roofs. So if you had your druthers, you'd go with what?
Concrete tile roof.
Okay.
No question. It is the least likely to burn. With your asphalt shingle roof and obviously with your wood shake roofs, there's a higher propensity for it to burn. Another thing too to remember with roofs is you need to check the trees around your roof line. If you have trees that are touching your roof or trees that are hanging within 2 feet of your roof, it's a fire hazard, because if that tree catches fire and it's touching your house is now on fire.
Let me ask you a question. People are saying they're cutting back on watering their lawns. I think it's twice a week right now. It may eventually go down to once a week, and then they may cut it out altogether. So if your lawn in the front yard or the backyard goes dry, even though you're cutting it, it goes dry, is it a fire hazard?
It can slightly increase the propensity for your property to catch fire. Most people don't have grass coming right up to their dwelling line, right up to the foundation, but obviously if something catches fire and there's a wind, that fire is going to move. So it is something that you need to watch out for, but hopefully even with the drought, the amount of water that they're allowing us to continue to do isn't going to kill everybody's lawns, that becomes a big problem.
All right. Number 11, I think we kind of touched on this with the caller who called in. What's a personal agent, right? You kind of pretty much touched on
We
that.
kind of did, but basically at the end of the day, a personal agent is someone that you have a relationship with, so that when you need something, you know who you're talking to, and they know you and your circumstances and your household. Because when it comes to making sure that you have the right coverage, they need to have that knowledge. If you're calling an 800 number, they don't know anything about you. You're just a premium to them, and you don't have a personal agent.
And number 12, we kind of touched on this too. What's a personal agent? Her name is Alicia Diaz.
A full-service agency, however, is an agency that provides all type of coverage.
Right.
Not every personal agent is a full-service agency. For instance,
say that again.
Not every personal agent is a full-service agency.
Okay.
So let me explain what a full-service agency is. My agency, for instance, not only do I do auto insurance, homeowners insurance, commercial insurance, life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, but I also do pet insurance. I also do 401ks, mutual funds, retirement accounts, all of that. So I am a full-service agency. The benefit of having a full-service agency is it's one-stop shop. You've got someone who handles all of your stuff, who knows your situation. It's to your advantage to put everything together.
So you do financial stuff too?
I do.
You do it personally?
I do.
You don't pass it off to another?
It's me.
Wow. Man, I didn't know that. Number 13, switching agencies. Don't let being in the middle of a term prevent you from switching. You can switch right in the middle.
You can switch right in the middle. There's what's called unearned premium. Even if you've paid your policy in full, if you canceled it the next day, they have to give you back all of the premium that they have not earned yet for that period of time that hasn't happened yet. Worst case scenario, they may charge you an early cancellation fee, and a lot of times you can get out of that. But if you've got someone else who's going to give you a better rate or better coverage for the same rate, I urge you to make that switch. Don't let, because the fact that you've already paid up, hinder you from doing that, to make sure that you're getting the best coverage at the best rate. You will get your premium back. By law, they can't keep it. So don't let that being in the middle of a term hinder you from switching if you can get better coverage.
So you'll get a refund check?
You'll get a refund check. And like I said, the worst thing that they may do is charge you an early cancellation fee, like say $50 or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you're getting better coverage and at a better rate, I mean, that's a double win. It's worth that $50, losing that $50 to now know that you're properly covered and getting a good rate. So switch when you want to switch.
All right. Anything else that we should know that maybe we left out today? I know we're short on time here. We have a second guest coming up in just a few minutes. But the insurance business now is, I mean, it's you know, it's complex and it's a little confusing because of all the commercials that we do see on television, not only with Farmers, but with Geico and some of the others. It's hard to choose. So how do you choose an agency? Do you base it on the commercials that you see, or do you base it on word of mouth? Investigate yourself? There's online information. How do you do it?
I'm going to say there's probably two sources that you're going to want to use.
Okay.
Get out there and investigate on your own. You can go online, you can look at reviews. Everybody's going to put their good reviews on there, so that's not necessarily going to make a difference. But look at the quality of the agency, look at the different types of products that they have to offer. Get a full service agency to make sure that you're getting taken advantage of everything and having one person working on it for you. The other thing is obviously talk to your friends. If you've got someone who, and they are what we call being married to their agent because they know their agent knows them, and they work closely together, consider looking at that as that agency as an option for you. At the end of the day, you're going to get what you pay for, but get educated. That's the biggest thing, because you're right, insurance is confusing and it's complicated. So get an insurance agent that you can get to know, that's going to take care of you, that's going to educate you along the way, so that if you do have a claim, you've got that confidence that you know you're covered.
Yeah. Okay, and phone number one more time before we go.
559-424-3658. You can also Google me, Alicia Diaz, Farmers Insurance. My website will come up for you.
End, right?
With an S. It's D-I-A-S.
All right. Farmers Insurance. Thanks, Alicia.
It's a pleasure.
Come back again.
Thank you. I would like
sometime.
to.
All
Thanks.
right. Alicia Diaz of Farmers Insurance back with more of our program here. We're going to talk about mosquito control and also the Fresno mosquito and vector control that is trying to stay in business. They need your help and your phone calls. 436-ME-TV option 11. Back with our second guest in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
We need help to find this missing child. Hallie Cummings was 7 when she went missing. She was last seen in Satsuma, Florida in February of 2009. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 11. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Hallie Cummings home.
When you're looking for Whirlpool, innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music.
Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country. The only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on BTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there. Officer Poncherello, ma'am.
Frank Poncherello.
Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program, Connect with Me on a Thursday morning. Time to switch gears now and talk about mosquito control. We know that's the season, and 'tis the season, my friends, right here during the summer, and we're worried about those diseases that those mosquitoes can bring. All right, I want to put up on the screen a sample ballot that you may or may not have received in the mail, and it looks something like this. This has to do with the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control, and they need your help. They need financial help to kind of stay in business and keep those mosquitoes and some of those diseases under control. So if you received a sample ballot, fill it out. If you are so inclined to keep the mosquito and vector control in the city of Fresno in business to give them some extra money, sign it, date it, mail it back. They need it in-house by June the 17th, okay? June the 17th is the deadline when they need this back in-house so they can count them all. And we'll talk to our guest today about how many they need to keep the vector control going in terms of financially. All right, roll a videotape. This is a very familiar scene in the city of Fresno, especially with abandoned homes or homes that are for sale or foreclosed homes. You often get this right here. A pool that is not maintained is like a quarter full. It's full of green algae. It's full of mosquitoes and all sorts of diseases that those mosquitoes carry. And this is what the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control and other vector controls around the Fresno area and the county do. They try to control the mosquito population. But if you see a pool like this, either next door, across the street, wherever, someplace in your neighborhood, you should call the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control or call the nearest vector control in your area to come and take care of this, because this is an absolute no-no. This is what draws in the mosquitoes. This is what creates disease. We're talking about all sorts of diseases, many of which I can't even pronounce. All right, live in our studio right now is Tim Phillips. He is from the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control District. And Tim, welcome to the program. I appreciate your time in being here. So tell us about the ballots and what these ballots represent. And what are you trying to accomplish with these? They have to be in your office by June 17th. What's the objective?
Okay, they don't come to our office. They go to an accountancy business that's going to count them for us. We don't touch the ballots. They have to be, collected by June 17th. You'll notice on the envelope it goes to an accountant's business in Reedley, so that we don't touch the ballots. It's being that they want to make sure.
How many were mailed out?
Just under 80,000.
Just under 80,000. Yeah. How many yes votes do you need for this thing to pass?
Well, the way it works is that the ballots that come back, it's a weighted ballot. And so we need to get 50% plus one, a simple majority of the ballots that come back. It's not quite as simple as that because it's a weighted ballot. A single family home can be assessed as much as $5 a year.
So that I want to get to the crux of that, because that's what these ballots represent. They represent an additional tax to your home, right? An additional $5 a month, a year? What?
No, it's an annual charge.
It's an annual charge of an average of about $5 to $10?
No, $5 will be the maximum that can be charged.
All right, $5 a year on your tax bill. And where does that money go?
That money comes directly to, well, it goes to the county. The county tax collector collects it for us, and it goes into our account. That is money that's earmarked for us and can't be taken by the state or the county or any other
So to
group.
get that money, you need 50% plus one.
Right.
You mailed out 80,000. In terms of this money, where does this money go to? What is it used for?
Oh, I see what you're saying. What we're asking is we would like to expand services. And, well, firstly, I should say that we're trying to replace an expiring assessment that is due to expire next fiscal year, the 16-17 fiscal year.
Okay.
If this measure were to pass, then we wouldn't exercise the existing assessment. The existing.
But where does the money go?
Well, it's coming to us, and it's meant for expanded services. We would like to upgrade our monitoring for disease. We have a problem getting fish in the springtime. We would like to upgrade fish facilities so that we can raise fish in the...
That eat the mosquitoes.
Right, the mosquito-eating fish, right. The mosquito fish. We would like to have more in the spring, and they die off in the wintertime in wild sources.
We're looking at some mosquitoes here now, and what kind of diseases are we talking about?
The latest one is West Nile virus. Previous to West Nile virus, we had Western equine encephalitis and St. Louis encephalitis in California.
Okay, and some of these mosquitoes carry all those diseases, huh?
Different species carry different ones. The one that you hear buzzing your ear at nighttime is one of the ones that carries West Nile and the encephalitis. Diseases, the encephalitis.
Okay, what's the biggest concern that we have? Is it West Nile? That's the number one concern.
Yeah, at the moment, that's
at the moment
yes,
it's West Nile.
Yes.
Okay. Now, a lot of questions have come to pass here. At least they've crossed this desk, and this is what you want to avoid: a swimming pool like that. That's awful. Or any kind of standing water is just terrible. It's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes like this. I mean, that's just, it's hard to even look at that. Look at it. How does a pool get like that?
Just by not having the filter working or the
maintenance?
Pumps are expensive. We understand that. And
well, if you can't afford the pump, maybe you shouldn't have the pool.
Well, I understand that. Maybe the house came with the pool, and it certainly was worth more with the pool.
Yeah.
But when if you're a little short on funds, pumps are.
Pumps are expensive.
I heard $1,000 pretty routinely.
Yeah.
And so people.
So you're to raise $400,000, but some information has crossed our desk here that says, okay, is that if it passes, and you save the district and add additional money, that $400,000 that you could raise and put in that one account for you guys by the county, it's saved by the county. Is that going to go towards salaries, toward raises, or towards what?
Towards services, continued services, and we want to expand services.
Okay. It's not going to go towards salaries or raises or anything like that.
No,
right?
That's not what it's meant for. No.
Okay.
No. What we have put in our ballot information is that
it right there?
Yes, it's this actually comes with the ballot.
Okay, all right. This information pack comes with the ballot right here. This information right here. So, what can people do if does this mailer, does it come separately into your mailbox? It doesn't come attached to anything?
No, it comes to your mailbox and
separately, under a separate cover.
This is the envelope that it comes in.
Okay.
And it's addressed to you, and then when you open it, then this is what comes, and I mean, it has each individual's assessor's parcel numbers. If you have more than one parcel, then it lists up to 14 parcels, and depending on the land use and of the parcel, the price can change.
Hey, so is this an epidemic now with some of the mosquito diseases like West Nile? Is it an epidemic? And also, is it? And how many abandoned pools are you seeing in the city of Fresno? How how many homes or businesses are being neglected? How often do you see standing water? Is it a major problem? Is it an epidemic, as I said?
We see standing water every day. Since the peak of the foreclosure crisis, a lot of that has gone away. The numbers are actually decreasing. We still have more than we did before the foreclosure crisis. And so there's plenty out there to do. I would guess, well, I think the last I looked, we had maybe 1,000 pools that we're keeping an eye on within the district.
And how do you find out about these pools, and how do you keep an eye on them?
Well, many of them we've known for years. We always get new ones. Sometimes we get calls from our neighbors that know that the pool is green, and we also have hired an aerial imagery. They fly over town and take pictures. That way we have real-time images.
So how common is this? You said 1,000 pools in an area that covers how many square miles?
Our district is 283 square miles. We have we have all of downtown Fresno and most of Fresno and the outlying areas out to Kerman.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking we have a list of 1,000 green pools, and we include in that ponds and spas.
What are you doing about them?
We have gone through the first round. We since the West Nile virus came, we have redoubled our efforts, and we've been through the whole list once already.
So when you see a pool like what we've seen here in the video, what do you do about it? How do you deal with it?
Oh, well, we'll just go in and we dip it. We look for mosquitoes. If we find mosquitoes, then we will.
You drain the pool?
No, we don't do that. And if someone wants to have a green pool, that's okay with us. I mean, we can't stop.
It's not illegal.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that it is, but all we're concerned about is whether or not it's producing mosquitoes. Okay. If it is, we will treat it to kill the mosquitoes, and most times add the mosquito-eating fish, so that for continued control. Over this period of the summer, they will reproduce, and there'll be plenty of them in the pool, and it'll keep it from growing mosquitoes.
Right. Okay. So the $400,000 is going to help in what way? And I already kind of asked you that.
Okay,
but how important is it? I mean, are you that short on money?
In other
words, if this thing fails, where does your vector control stand financially?
The existing assessment was put forth in 1996, and had a 20-year sunset. And so in 2016-17 it will expire. We will lose that funding, which is about 18% of our budget.
And where would that put you if it fails?
Well, since we put the benefit assessment forward in '96, we have been in survival mode already. I mean, we've gone from a lot of full-time employees to the minimum full-time employees and many seasonal employees.
Part-timers.
So, yeah, right, part-time people. Our board has been very conservative, and we have managed to stay afloat, but we've sort of still been in just survival mode. Right. And we've cut as much as we've made as many adjustments as we can. And
so what you're saying is you can't cut back anymore?
If we lose that funding, we would have to cut services.
Wow.
And that funding is meant to expire, like I said, next fiscal year.
Would the Fresno mosquito and vector control go away if you lose that funding?
No, we would still exist. We would have to cut services. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate your time. Tim Phillips from the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control. Fill out the ballot if you get it. Okay. Good to see you, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Good luck on the election and on the funding. We're going to see you here tomorrow on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. We're going to talk about senior rights. Do you have certain rights under the law, the state of California, if you are a senior? We're going to see you tomorrow, talk about that with our special guest. And also Chuck Carson is going to be here. We'll have two guests in the studio tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. See you back here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno on a Friday morning live at 10. Have a good day.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.